Did you know that the average person's attention span is now just 8 seconds? That's shorter than a goldfish's. If you're telling a story, you've got a very short window to hook your audience before they zone out. But don't panic, because here's the good news: you don't need hours of practice to master storytelling. In fact, I can teach you how to keep people locked in with just 7 minutes of focus. This video will teach you strategies that the best storytellers use, but not the ones you've heard a million times. No boring, always start with a bang advice here. I'll show you how to use silence, flaws, and unpredictability to make your stories unforgettable. We're going to flip what you think you know about storytelling on its head. Trust me, after this, you'll never struggle to hold someone's attention again. Ready to learn the tricks that will keep people hanging on your every word? Let's dive in. Chapter 1: The 7-Minute Hack to Storytelling Mastery. You don't need years of practice to become a great storyteller. You just need focus and precision. According to research from the Nielsen-Norman Group, it only takes 7 minutes for someone to form a solid opinion about your story. That's not a lot of time, but it's enough if you master a few key techniques. The first step: grab their attention immediately. Start with something that makes them feel something: surprise, curiosity, or even humor. This is where the magic begins. Don't waste the first few seconds. Jump right into your story. The best storytellers know how to cut the fluff and get straight to the point. You have 7 minutes, so every second counts. Use powerful words, and don't be afraid to simplify. In the book Made to Stick, Chip and Dan Heath explain that simple stories are stickier and more memorable. If you can't say it in 7 words, you probably don't need it at all. Chapter 2: The Unseen Superpower. Silence that speaks. Think silence is awkward in storytelling. Think again. Pauses are some of the most underrated tools in a storyteller's toolbox. Research by the University of California found that silence in communication makes audiences lean in and pay closer attention. When you pause, you give your listeners a moment to process. This builds suspense, heightens emotions, and makes what you say next even more impactful. In The Storytelling Animal, Jonathan Gottschall argues that silence amplifies meaning. When you pause, you're not just stopping the flow, you're creating a space where your audience becomes part of the story. Silence allows them to fill in the blanks and connect the dots. It's like a drumbeat in the rhythm of your story, keeping the pace alive and charged with energy. If you're finding this helpful so far, make sure to hit that subscribe button. You don't want to miss the next chapter, where I'll teach you why flaws make you unstoppable in storytelling. Chapter 3: The Underdog Twist. Why flaws make you unstoppable. Perfection is overrated. If you want to be a memorable storyteller, focus on flaws. In fact, it's the imperfections in characters that make them relatable and real. Ever notice how people root for the underdog? There's a reason for that. The best stories are the ones that show the vulnerability and struggle behind the character. Brené Brown, in her book Daring Greatly, talks about the power of vulnerability. When we see flaws, we connect. We relate. We cheer for the character because they're just like us. If your character is too perfect, people won't care. They won't feel invested. A flawed hero, on the other hand, becomes someone your audience can't help but root for. Enjoying the tips so far? Hit subscribe so you won't miss out on the game-changing unpredictability tricks in the next chapter. Chapter 4: The Unpredictable Hook. How to shatter expectations. If you've seen a movie with a predictable plot, you know how quickly you lose interest. People crave unpredictability. They want to be surprised, shocked, and engaged. The best storytellers don't follow a formula, they break it. According to the book The Art of Dramatic Writing by Leos Egri, conflict and unpredictability are essential to creating tension that keeps the audience locked in. So, how do you make your stories unpredictable? Start with an unexpected twist or a bizarre turn. Think about how you can lead your audience down one path and then throw in a curveball that catches them off guard. It doesn't need to be extreme, just enough to make them stop and think, "I didn't see that coming." You'll instantly captivate their attention. Chapter 5: Emotion over Logic. Why your heart knows more than your brain. Here's a simple truth: people remember how you made them feel, not what you told them. In the Harvard Business Review, a study found that emotional connections drive decision-making more than logic. That's why stories that make you feel something stick. Logic, while important, is forgettable. Emotion is unforgettable. Great storytellers tap into universal emotions: love, fear, hope, and joy. When you tell a story from the heart, it resonates deeply with your audience. Think about the last movie or book that truly moved you. Chances are, it wasn't because the plot was perfect. It was because the characters' struggles and triumphs hit you on an emotional level. Whether it's joy, sadness, or surprise, storytelling is about creating a deep emotional connection that sticks long after the story ends. Chapter 6, The Reverse Storytelling Trick, Hook, M from the end. Sometimes, the best way to tell a story is to start with the ending. It may sound counterintuitive, but reverse storytelling can instantly grab attention. Take your audience straight to the climax or a big reveal. Then, backtrack and show them how everything led up to that moment. This technique adds a sense of urgency and intrigue that traditional storytelling lacks. In The Power of Storytelling, Ty Bennett explains how starting with the outcome can actually make the journey more engaging. People want to know how the story ends, so by showing them up front, you create an immediate connection. They'll stay hooked, eager to see how everything unfolds. It's like watching a great mystery movie. You're captivated by the end, and you're not going anywhere until you know how it all fits together. And before you go, if you haven't subscribed yet, do it now. You've just unlocked some killer storytelling secrets that will change the way you tell stories forever. Stay tuned for more. Storytelling isn't a talent you're born with, it's a skill you can develop. The key is to focus on what really matters: creating emotional connections, keeping things unpredictable, and using every tool in your toolbox to grab attention. By using strategies like mastering the 7-minute hook, embracing silence, and embracing the power of imperfection, you'll become the kind of storyteller people can't get enough of. Take these techniques, try them out, and start creating stories that will have everyone listening. Remember, it's not about the length of your story. It's about how you tell it. And now, with these 6 strategies, you'll never struggle to keep your audience locked in again.